All right, I have seen these videos circulating around. My top fall palettes, my favorite fall palettes, the best fall palettes. In fact, I did one of these last year, which of course I will have linked down below. But what I wanted to do this year is do a favorite fall palettes that I forgot about, which is something that if you are a beauty lover like me, and especially an eyeshadow palette lover, you tend to build, add to your collection, and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. So I just wanted to share with you, I have 10 of my favorite fall palettes that I forgot about. So these are going to be ones that I am going to reach for this fall now that I remember that they're in my collection, and I'm sure that you might have them in your collection as well. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. But let's get into my forgotten fall favorites. All right, before we get started, I just want to mention that obviously, if they're forgotten, none of these palettes are going to be very new. I'm 40, but my mind's not going that quickly. So these are all products that for the most part, I think all came out at least a year ago. I could be wrong on that. There are definitely some that might be like on that cusp, but in the world of makeup, a year ago is like a very long time ago. And if you're like me, you get a lot of eyeshadow palettes, especially this time of year. There's so much hype around eyeshadow, like fall eyeshadow, toasty warm, ooh, ah. And it's like we sort of lose track of what we have. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I recently was going through my palettes. What was it for? It was another eyeshadow palette video. And I saw a couple of these palettes, one in particular, actually two of these. And I was like, oh yeah. Because I bought the Natasha Denona Retro, of course, and when I got that, I was like, yeah, I don't really have a lot of mauves and berries in my collection. And I was like, oh, yes, I do. I just forgot about a few of these. They got shoved to the back of my palette drawer. You know how it goes. So I really just wanted to inspire all of you to maybe take a look at your current collection before you go out and buy a new fall palette. So here we go with number one. I remember getting this last fall, I believe it was. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Fire Rose Quad. I'm going to try not to blind you with Charlotte's inner packaging. So again, this is just a beautiful quad of those like warm gold maroons. This is the only Charlotte Tilbury quad that I owned at this point. I did end up getting one free with something else, but this really is just that beautiful warm fall vibe, and I really do like it. The Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow quality for me is like okay, but for the price, I don't know. I have heard that like the bigger palettes are better than the quads. Let me know. Do you think that that's true? I don't. This is again the first Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow that I ever tried. But while the formula is not like my tippy top fave, I think that this quad is just a very quick and easy grab and go. You can quickly throw on the mat. You could either choose to build it up or just blow it out and use one or two of these shimmers and be out the door. So there are definitely mornings, whether it's like I haven't had enough coffee or I haven't had enough sleep or I just don't have enough time, this is going to be a great one to just grab and go. So that's definitely why I've got this one in here. All right, another mauve-y, warm little palette that I completely forgot about. This is the Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions palette. So I have a little area in one of my vanity drawers here where I keep all my little itty bitty palettes, and this one just kind of like got lost in the mix. And I remember when I bought this one and one other one and I tried them out, and I really do like these. I actually found this and I was like, oh, maybe I need to go get one of those other newer Huda Beauty ones. And I was like, no, maybe you just need to use the one that you have. I really like that you've got this beautiful dark but really like saturated color. You've got a little bit cooler tones. You have some very easy to use shimmers. So I definitely need to be pulling this one out. And this is the one that I was like, why did I feel the need to have retro? I mean, look here, like there are definitely similar tones, kind of a similar color story in this palette. Now, obviously, the formulas are not the same. I do prefer the Natasha Denona mattes more. That's just my thing. But honestly, I really don't think if I had seen this in my collection and one other one that I'm gonna be talking about, that I would have gotten this. So little regret there. So I have told myself that from here on out, before I buy a new eyeshadow palette, I really need to go through my current collection and decide, is it a different color story? Is there a different formula? Like maybe is it something that I haven't tried before? What is the reason that I feel like I need this other than the fact that it's new? So it was a lesson learned. So here is a palette that a lot of you probably have if you have BoxyCharm. And this is the Natasha Denona Peak Palette, speaking of Natasha. So a lot of people got this last year. It was like the September or October box, October, November, you know, a fall box. And this is all obviously pre-existing shades in Natasha Denona's formulas, but I was lucky enough to get it in my box and I really do like it. I am actually thinking of taking all of my 5 pans and popping them out of the palette and putting it into one big magnetic palette just to make a big mama Natasha Denona palette, because again, when I have 5 shades, I really do feel a little bit limited. I mean, it is nice in the fact that, like, A, it limits me and I don't end up spending a half an hour here putting on 75 different eyeshadow colors just playing, but it is nice to be able to travel with as well. But I figure, like, if I keep this little guy, I can have a way to pop 5 shadows of my choice in and be on the go when I need that. But I feel like putting all of my 5 pans in one palette would kind of like give me an option to have one more like special made Natasha Denona. Does that make sense? Anyway, the Peak palette here, if you have it, pull it out. This is the perfect season for it. Now another one that I got from BoxyCharm is the Cranberry Palette. So I think that this one is not available anymore, but I'm not sure. If it is available, I'll put it here. But this is a beautiful fall, like if you like vibrant tones in the fall, if you like more cool tones, I mean, this does have this beautiful copper shade, but I really do like a copper and purple combo or a copper and pink. So I have not touched this one yet. I have not touched this one yet. I might have swatched it, but I certainly haven't done anything else. I should probably do that, like the palettes that I've never freaking touched video. Maybe that'll be coming in the future, but this would be in there because I haven't touched it yet. So I guess that does mean that I can't necessarily say that it's a favorite because I don't know that the quality is amazing, but it's Natasha Denona. I'm sure it's going to be good. I love the color story, so maybe this one is a cheat. Forgive me. All right, so here we have the Lethal Cosmetics Velvet Dusk Palette. This is a fairly new to me purchase. This is actually this spring. I think it was this spring, or maybe it was this last winter. I don't know. My friend Stephen Ford and I were chatting. Lethal was having a sale. Oh, I think it was this spring because I think it was their Easter sale. And we decided to do a combo order together. So this is fairly new to me, but in all honesty, I've already kind of forgotten about it. And that was just because I obviously got it at the time of year. Like, this to me is not screaming spring. Even though you have a few vibrant shades here, it just wasn't in my spring vibes. I have pulled it out a couple times since. I actually just recently wore this. I like used some of these like purples and this like lovely sort of mustardy shade and had a beautiful grungy look. I did take a picture of it. I might still be ballsy enough to put it on Instagram, but I didn't have time to take the picture until like 10 hours after, and my eyes were red and I was like, oh, I'm looking a little worse for wear. But I did really love the look, and actually when Jeremy came in to say goodbye to me in the morning, he was like, oh, I love the look. He's like, it's very, what was it that he said? I think he was like, I don't know if he said it's like lustrous. I'm not quite sure where he was going with this compliment, but he did compliment it, and it was really early in the morning, so I feel like that definitely means something. I do think that this is going to be a good one fall going into winter. It's got a little of something for everybody. You've got your purples, you've got your like bluey greens, you've got some coppers here. You could do a warm look, you could do a cool look. I definitely need to play with this one more. Here is another palette that, since I bought it, I think that I have used this maybe twice since I did my live swatch party video, and this is the Glam Shop Nude Mandala palette. This is the all shimmer palette. I do also have the all matte palette, but I definitely have been pulling that one out. But the shimmer palette, I just have kind of like been like, huh? Like when I actually was in my drawer recently, I was like, oh my gosh, I have not been using that palette. And that's just because I have so many Glam Shop singles that when I think like, ooh, I want to play with Glam Shop today, I just reach for all of the magnetic palettes with my single shadows in. I really kind of forgot that I had this one, but there are some beautiful shades in here. I love the Glam Shop formula. I think that this is really nice because obviously this right here is totally fall, but I think that like, you know, some of these light shades, I really should start pulling this one out when I need like a little inner corner. You all know that I love a good inner corner pop, and I definitely have some palettes that I feel like are lacking that I've been using this season. So this will be one that I'll at least pull out for that, but I think you could get a beautiful warm look, you definitely have some bronzies in here. If you like a rich, like metallic look this season, you've got a lot in here, and I definitely need to pull this one out more. All right, here is one that, again, I'm kind of kicking myself for not using more, and this is the Warrior 2 by Juvia's Place. So this is an all matte palette, which you don't have to be an all matte kind of makeup wear to enjoy this palette. This is perfect to pull out to use with some of your sparkly single shadows. You can pull it out and add to a palette that you feel like, ah, I wish I had a black. I wish I had something with a little bit more neutral in it. I wish I had something that had that like warm pumpkin shade. Like this, I feel like I really could be getting more use out of. So what I actually did is I put an area in my vanity here with all of my like all matte palettes, and I just have it sitting in here. So now if I'm doing a look mostly featuring like shimmer shades or single shadows, I can go ahead and pull this one out to supplement this fall, because I really think that there are some gorgeous shades. You also could totally get a banging matte look out of this. I always feel like my heart is just a little bit sad when I'm wearing all matte on my eyes. I just gotta have, even if it's just like a little like right here. So I could definitely see myself actually, like, again, taking those pops of color from the Nude Mandala and then using the Warrior palette to like get some like really rich fall tones. All right, more Glam Shop. This is the Glam Shop Camo palette. So what I have to say is I bought this along with a few other Glam Shop palettes at the time, because of course if I'm going to be paying shipping from Poland, I'm going to order enough to sort of make my brain think it's worthwhile. That's what we do in our makeup brains. This palette is just so pretty. You have those beautiful grungy greens. You have a nice bright green in the middle. If you love a green and you like a grungier green, this is going to be the palette for you. This is the palette for me. But when I bought it, it was, I think, spring. And I just kind of forgot about it, and everybody raved about it when they first got it, and then I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that one. It wasn't until probably in the last month that I was like, oh, camo! I haven't been using that one. So if you were like me and you bought this earlier in the year when you felt like grungy greens weren't the vibe, pull it out now, and I do know that it is still available if you do love a grungy green and you want to pick it up. Now, I can't say in all honesty that this is a palette that I forgot about, but it is a palette that I used a ton last fall when I got it, and then it totally dropped off my radar until recently. And now I've been using it a lot, and I have had a couple people request, oh, please do more looks with that palette. I have it and I just never reach for it. This is the Violet Voss Olive You Forever palette. I talked about this quite a bit last year, and I truly do love it. This is, to me, it's a little bit different than your normal green and brown scenario, because I think that these browns have that little bit of, I want to say like orangey peach, but this one actually almost has like a little bit more of that like chocolate raspberry vibe. I don't know. They're not like your basic browns. They are so pretty, but if you love greens and you love a variety of greens, this is nice. You have this beautiful like silvery olive color. You have your more traditional like olive green. You've got like more of an emerald green. I don't want to say emerald as in like jewel tone, because it's still a little bit like dusky. Then you have some beautiful neutral shimmers here. It is really a beautiful palette. I really enjoy this palette. I've gotten some beautiful looks from it. So really this was more like, if you've forgotten this palette, bring it out this fall, because she is gorgeous. I think that the Violet Voss formula is very underrated. I think the mattes blend beautifully. I think the shimmers are really, really nice. So take a look in your stash. All right, one last palette, and it's another Violet Voss. This is the Holy Grail palette. This palette I got from BoxyCharm a while ago. I honestly can't even say how long ago I got this. I would probably be ashamed. I do not remember, but look at all of these tones. Why have I not been pulling this out? So this is again one that is too tall to fit in my drawer in my vanity. So she was laying like this. So she was under like the So Jaded palette. She was under a couple other big Mama Jambas, and she just got buried. And I think my drawer got stuck. I think something got wedged in there. So I had to like reach in and like get everything organized and pull everything out. And when I was trying to like go through everything, I was like, and I opened this up and I was like, she's so pretty. I mean, really, you have some very wearable combinations here. If you like a more warm look, here you go. If you like something that's more of like that pinky berry look, here you go. If you like to be pretty soft with your looks, here you go. You want some depth, right here. Like, there is a lot in this palette. Yes, it is, I can't even say it's like monochromatic, but it is definitely, it came out right around the time when warm eyeshadows were just like starting to be the jam again. And so I really do like this. Again, the mattes blend beautifully. The shimmers are really, really nice. I don't hear anyone talking about Violet Voss anymore, but I really do like both of these palettes. And I know that I got both of these from BoxyCharm, but if I saw a new palette being launched by Violet Voss that had a color story that I wanted to pick up, I would totally do it. I love the formula. So maybe if you're like me and you're a palette hoarder and you keep things maybe longer than you should, you will still have that Holy Grail palette, because mine is still working really great. So I hope that this video was fun for you. It certainly was fun for me. I just wanted to inspire you to go through your collection, enjoy a little bit of what you have. I have no problem with people buying the new. I myself just bought some new. In fact, a very expensive new, also known as the Denona Myricks Lightworks Volume 3 palette. So review on that will of course be coming soon. But so I just think we definitely need to look at what we have and again, curate our collections a little bit. See what you have. Is this purchase that you're thinking about making going to add something new? Is it going to give you a different color combination? Of course, I feel like a lot of us at this point have every single color that exists, but maybe it's combined in a way that inspires you. Maybe it's a newer formula that you want to try out. Maybe it's a little mini that you think will be great for travel. Maybe you're like me and you're like, I'm realizing minis aren't my jam. I need to have all the options, but not in too big of a size, because a laptop size palette is not for me. So just take a moment, take a breather. I know we are going into holiday season when it is like coming at us so fast and there's like this like panic, right? So I hope again that this was helpful. At least maybe it was entertaining. Let me know if you have any of these palettes and if you're gonna pull them out this season. Thank you all so much. I'll see you really soon. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I've got a hair in my mouth.